This tutorial is to show you how to do the order of operations. So if I create a new project, and I just call this order of operations, again, this is a chapter 2 topic. We'll go ahead and make a new program, pound include. You do this enough, it just gets to be second nature. I really do need you guys to be to the point here where if you make a mistake here, you can just look at it and figure out what's wrong. And I know for many of you, the code is still quite new, since really we haven't really started talking about programming officially in this book till this chapter. Now, in your notes, there is a line that goes like this. And I'm just going to paste this right here. C++ should really have no trouble doing that line of code. What it says is, take the quantity 4 minus 2 times the quantity 5 minus 3 times 8, divide by the quantity 2 plus 3 minus 4. It means exactly what you know in mathematics. The order of operations is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide on the same level, and also modulus. And if there's a tie, you just work left to right, just like you do in math. The only thing that's a little different there is the modulus. And then finally, the last thing you do is plus or minus. Now, I know there's a little more involved one in your book, but if you know this one, it should get us through this problem. So if you keep in mind the business of parentheses, powers, multiply, divide, add, subtract. How is the acronym? Please help my dear Aunt Sally. First letter there stands for each operation. Should get you through it. So when you look at a problem like this, one of the things you'll see on quizzes and tests is, well, predict the output. Well, I have no powers here because in C++ you're really not allowed to do something like this, not directly without a math function. You can't say 2 raised to the power of 3. So the first thing I'm going to have to deal with is the parentheses, and I see 3 parentheses is the first thing I got to do. I see 1, 2, 3 things I have to simplify here. So 4 minus 2 is going to give me a 2. I'll just bring down the times sign. I can now go to the next parenthesis since it's tied, so I can simplify what's in there. Now 5 minus 3 times 8, what do you do first? You got to do multiplication. Multiplication is going to come before subtraction, so what you're really looking at there is 5 minus, what's 3 times 8? 24. And now I need to divide by this quantity here. I see a 2 plus 3 minus 4. What do you do first? Well, plus and minus are tied, and the order of operations, they're really at the end, so you just read left to right. So the first thing you're going to do is 2 plus 3, which we all know is 5 minus 4. Now on the next line, I just reevaluate. I got to look at what I got to do. Well, you got to do your parentheses first, right? So down comes the 2. You still have to times something. I see that 5 minus 24 is a 19. I need to divide by, isn't that true? Oh, minus 19. Let's put that in parentheses just to show that the quantity is negative. I know it's negative. Everybody okay with that so far? Everybody agree? Then 5 minus 4 is 1. So now the next thing I need to do is I need to think here, what comes first, multiply or divide? Well, they're tied, so you're just going to read left to right. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take 2 times 19. What is that? 38. And then you need to divide by a 1. Of course, when we multiply by negative 19, it does become negative. Obviously, that's just going to be 1. So when I run this, if I rebuild this, excuse me, it's negative 38. No, you don't have to declare any variables here, but if you did have variables and they were equal to each of these values to start with, this read A, B, C, D for each one of those numbers, it would be done exactly the same way. Doesn't change the problem at all. So if I go ahead and rebuild this, you can always check your work, make up little problems like this, see if you can predict the output. I better get negative 38. There it is. Everybody see how that works? So it's exactly what you know in mathematics. You have to follow those rules. There is one variation here if you're coming from the Visual Basic world. From the Visual Basic world, modulus is actually a step that goes between multiply, divide, plus, minus, just for your own information. But since we're not doing a Visual Basic class here, we're just going to say modulus is tied with these. Okay, at this point, this concludes this tutorial.